because it's the same thing.
Yeah. So in that same time frame, do you think you're going to have a pretty good feel whether the kids have a grasp of capital
I think
and
some of them.
lower? Okay.
I think some of them towards the end of like the 2 week, I could really get a feel for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually know what's going on here? So it would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because I like to think that the kids know it.
Yeah. Sometimes they surprise you.
Yeah.
But the benefit to this also is while you're doing this, even if you have a handful of them that do know it very solidly, if you have some that don't, you're going to be hitting that over and over again. So after 2 weeks, guess what?
Exactly. They're going to know
They're going to know.
All right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you this,
Okay.
and then I'm going to ask you to read it back to me so I can write it in my chicken scratchings here.
Mini Haley goal.
Work
with Haley on her last name and the correct formation of the letters. And then Hillary and I will use consistent language for letters. Example, capital versus uppercase. And making sure we stick to the letter script.
Awesome. And then, so by doing that, you're going to be also checking to see.
Oh, yeah. Checking back on understanding from the children.
Awesome.
Right.
And then I have to tell you again, when I walk into your room and I see how the children are, even when they're signing in the morning stuff.
I meant to point that out to Karen too. I'm like, oh man.
Oh, I guarantee you she noticed. Because I don't know if we talked about it before or after, but I did talk to her about that. It's like night and day. And I can tell when I walk into a classroom where the teachers have been very conscientiously and purposefully teaching letter formation, and then when I walk into a classroom where it kind of looks like something.
What I'm really excited about is the kids. I figured their excitement about it would wear off, but I still have a line. Like this morning when you were in there, Amir's kind of was like hovering, and we were getting ready for lunch at that point. And he's like, can I go? I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have time. And then he was asleep, so he wasn't like the first one to do it. And he's like, what about me? And I'm like, I'm sorry, come on over. So I definitely figured that interest would kind of
It's very exciting.
flags. Yeah. It's cool.
Well, I mean, for one thing, kudos to you. They are getting a lot of positive feedback. And they're just getting the warm fuzzies from getting to spend time with you, so that's really good.
Yeah.
And they're learning to write their name. And then I would just want to touch base with you about something again. And I am fine either way, but how would you feel about, I've got a couple options. I'd like to get into the other classrooms and do some modeling of like level 1.
Okay.
And then maybe some level 2. But honestly, you're really good at level 1. And I'm wondering, like for Jessica and Kenzie's room, would you, I could cover your room, would you want to go in and model for them?
Okay.
You don't have to. I mean, either way, if you're not.
I guess if they're okay with
do you want
it,
to check with them and see which way they'd like to do it? Because I am fine either way. But I just think it would be a really good leadership opportunity for you, and you don't have to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine as long as it wouldn't, like, bring up any animosity with them for whatever reason. Like, I don't want to step on toes.
No, that's fine.
So I would check with them if they're fine with it, and then, because I said something to them because I'm like, guys, I nailed it. Tim wants me to lead the program on this. And there's actually jokes about, oh, well, when would you actually be able to come? Because the classrooms are never, we can't ever get our classrooms covered.
Well, and that's the thing is, I kind of mentioned to Karen, is like, she's really good at this, and I'd love her to be able to, because she can probably show it to them in a way that I wouldn't be able to, because I'm not in the classroom every day. So if it's something they're open to and something you'd like to do, I will come in and I will just be like your person. I will be the stand-in Ashley. I can't replace you, but I'll be the stand-in Ashley for a little while.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. I'll talk to them, and I'll talk to Jocelyn too, because Jocelyn's actually asked me a lot of questions about how I end up doing a sign-in. So I think she might appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask Jess and Kenzie. I'm sure they'd be fine with it, because when we talked about it, it was just, oh, who's covering your classroom? Because we have to watch you. And so.
No, let's look at it, and otherwise I can go in and do like the level 2 and stuff for them as well. Okay. But yeah. Okay. All right. You could be their resource.
Okay. I'll talk to them.
Good.
About that.
All right. And again,
I'm sure they'd be fine with it. It's just.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the big question is, okay, who's covering our classroom?
Exactly.
Licensing issues.
It's our me. 3 little things. We're all terrified.
Yeah. Okay. No, well, if they want to do that, more than happy to come in. Okay.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for staying, and even staying after there was a late child pickup and everything. I appreciate it. So the one thing I didn't ask you is, when do you want me to come back in and like just check on progress? You said you want to take a couple weeks.
Yeah, I want to take a couple weeks because, first off, it's like a personal habit that we have to break.
Right.
So that's going to be a weird one.
That seems reasonable, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to just check back in like middle of next week or something, and then we could figure out, at least with Haley, if it is just a confusion over the tall letters and the short letters, and then Hillary and I will just start trying to pay attention to our language.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's gonna be a hard one because you have to break the habit, and then.
But you're not even sure if you have.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm assuming I have this bad habit, but I don't know.
And you might not. But it's something. It's like if you don't think about it, you never know.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's good that you have both of you, so you can kind of monitor each other a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so check back in next week, and I'll at least figure out if Haley. It's just a weird day, or what's going on.
And if I'm thinking if you are looking at like just monitoring yourselves for a couple weeks,